basically is like get to sing with you, see how everything's going. I have some questions regarding yeah, playlist, decision tree, like just get some updates. Everything's going well. Was also thinking maybe we can just crack a little bit on a template that's on the agenda. And yeah, that's it. I'll pass it to Chin.
Thanks, Ifty. Yeah, similar. I want to just try to um, make sure that I'm aware of everything that's going on in the group, and I kind of want to get just accumulate information for the Sampo analyst group that we're uh, starting to meet tomorrow. So yeah, looking forward to hearing and seeing if I can't contribute something in means of trying to continue to like intelligently account for everything. And pass it to Bear.
Thanks, Bear. Yeah, my intentions are to go over this agenda and see where I can support. And also, I want to get feedback on the audit and what's the next step. So, yeah, those are my intentions. I pass it back to you, Zepti.
Thank you. Oh, let me. Oh, not video. Share my screen. This one. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I just like I was updating a council call, and I just figured out we don't have a council playlist. I believe we're putting it into the source. Maybe that's cool, but yeah, just bring the topic here. Like, do you guys think it's worth it having a council playlist or not? Probably Bear. You
I
are the.
haven't.
Mhm.
Is it on YouTube?
Yeah.
I remember creating a different playlist for the stewards, but I can't remember if it's for the council or if it's mainly for the sprint planning and retro. But yeah, don't we have it yet?
No, I didn't create anything. Sorry for it. Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion neither. Just saw it and wanted to comment with you guys.
I have an opinion. I think we can have a separate playlist for the stewards working group because I think those calls are mainly for coordination. And then for topics that we want more insights from the stewards, more discussion, it can go. Those are what the council calls are for. So I think the stewards council, can have a separate playlist. That's my opinion because they are different. Yeah, those two calls are they have different purposes.
Okay. Do you want to take it on? Anyone? Maybe or Bear or Jean? Okay. Make sure to count it as operations when you make the. Oh, I need to update the document. Okay, but yeah, when counting those, like make sure like counting as operations. It's not like recording. Uh, yeah, yeah. Uh, wait, I'll do it. I actually make a copy of the one that we were using the last time, and yeah, we'll just replace and create it for the next 3 months. So it will be like May, June, and July. I feel like this month we also should related to this topic. We should also make the funding proposal. So how you envision it? Like maybe we do a hack session like the last time, or this is probably more for you, Ivy.
Um, Sorry, what was the question? Because wait, let me just go back to the YouTube playlist.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah. So can you drop? I think I saw it on Twitter that you sent the link to Odyssey. My question is, does it? Do we need to manually update Odyssey as
Oh,
well, or is
no,
it
no,
linked
no.
to YouTube?
I actually put Odyssey here just to say like we did a great job having this Odyssey because Bangladesh got their YouTube channel shut down, and even if that happens to the TC, we have all the content safe in Odyssey.
So Odyssey is linked to our YouTube playlist, and whatever we have on YouTube playlist
No, no,
reflects it
it's linked
automatically
to
on
our
Odyssey.
YouTube channel. It's not linked to any playlist. It gets everything we get on the YouTube channel that goes public.
Uh,
There are
I'm
some
confused.
content. Mhm.
Can you share what Odyssey looks like for? Because I
Yeah,
checked the link earlier from Twitter and
yeah. Actually, like
saw that it has all the content as well from YouTube, but I'm not familiar with this platform.
yeah. I mean, it's very unorganized, but all the content is here. Like the last call was Esteba's council that I updated,
Mm-hmm.
and I was kind of
So
late. But then, yeah, all the calls are here. And there is
so
no organization. It's just calls there.
so whatever we upload on YouTube automatically gets uploaded to Odyssey. There's
Yes.
no manual work that needs to.
No.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
everything. Everything's
that's my
automatic.
question. And there's no
And
way to create playlists on Odyssey.
I mean, yeah, we could even change the logo, the channel one. But the thing is, like, it's going to be like a huge amount of time.
Mm,
I feel like, meanwhile, I mean, I don't know what's your opinion on that, but I feel like this is a lot of work to do because it's probably
mm-hmm.
videos. So if we want to keep it organized, like our YouTube channel,
Yeah.
it's going to be a huge amount of hours.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is like, yeah, like right now we have our YouTube channel, so we don't need to
Yeah.
worry so much, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
maybe we want to worry. I don't know.
I think as long as we have the playlist on YouTube, I think we can, and as long as our videos have like a backup on this platform, I think that's fine. And then maybe we can just organize this if if we lose the YouTube channel. So yeah, I think what's important is all our videos are backed up on this platform.
Then is another thing. Like we have many videos that are in. They are not like public. They are high. They are not private, but they are not public either. So those videos are not coming through Odyssey. Like for
Uh,
example, like the Hatch video we use in the Hatch. It's high. It's not in YouTube. And then Griff also made some videos that are on high. And then the last video I can't remember. It's also like I made this analysis for the Dune in the audit. Like if you go to the audit and you click the link, you get to see that video. But if you on YouTube and you scroll down, you never will find this video. Uh, I mean,
so
I
if
don't. Mhm.
wait, Okay, I have two questions. So my first question, if YouTube shuts down our channel, these videos on Odyssey will still exist, right?
No, the thing is, like, since those videos are hide, like Odyssey is not seeing them, so it's not
No, no, I mean the
taking them.
published videos, the public videos.
Yeah, the public, yes, yes, all of
Even
them.
if YouTube shuts down
Yeah,
our channel.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. So my second question for those hidden videos, or I think that's I forgot the term. Yeah, but I know what you're saying. It's not
yeah.
unpublished. I think it's not private, but it's unpublished.
Yeah,
Is there a way to I know how many videos do we have that's unpublished, and is there a way to manually upload them on Odyssey?
I mean, yeah, we should download them from YouTube and then manually upload them on Odyssey.
But do we know how many videos we have that's unpublished? I mean, if it's
Yeah,
a
like
lot, it might not be
it's
worth our time. But if it's like only like less than 10, I think it's okay just to
yeah, I feel like
manually
it's
upload them.
like 10. I mean, we could also make them
Okay.
public, right? And then
But I don't know if I think there is a reason why we didn't make them public, right? So
I
I don't know
mean,
if. Mhm.
yeah, I mean, most of them is just because we have an interface like the hatch or
Mhm.
now the audit or whatever, and then yeah, the reason was so people click the link, and yeah, but it's I think like the reasoning behind is not very smart, actually, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Like,
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
one
So
easy
I think just
solution
to
would
say,
make them.
or yeah,
Mhm.
I mean just to secure those videos and make sure that we have those copies. If they're only less than 10, I don't know if it's worth our time to manually download and upload it on Odyssey. But yeah, your choice, Zeti. Or I know
I
what
mean,
others think.
yeah, I feel
Or
like
maybe Jean or Bear
we could
have the opinion.
even make them public for a day, and then we can get them back to hide after a day, and then they will be on Odyssey. It's another thing.
So do we have a like a central repository of documents and stuff that's outside of YouTube and Google, or some other persistent backup, or we're just relying on having those uploaded to those platforms and then persisting that way?
Yeah, the thing is, like, we link our YouTube channel with Odyssey. Is the library? I don't know if you remember the library project.
Sure.
And yeah, like they are every time we upload a video on YouTube, they are getting that video and uploading it here in this platform. So even if YouTube shut us down, we still safe. But the thing is, like, on YouTube, we also have some videos that are not public, so they are
I
hide.
think mhm. I think Jean
Uh,
is asking if we have other repositories where we store these
oh no,
videos.
no,
We
it's
don't
just
have, right? Because
it's
it's too
it's just
much.
Like
Odyssey
an
and
Nginx
that's
or
it.
an IPFS or
No, 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 no. Like at some point, we were thinking of buying memory in Google Memory, but we felt like Odyssey was better. Like, it's free
sure,
and it's also open source.
sure,
So I mean, yeah, I mean we can also. I feel like Odyssey has been working pretty good. Like, we make it on 2019 and we don't had to do anything and it's still working. So I don't know.
Anyway, there's something to be said for the simplicity of it. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Just
it's not it's not taking time from anyone, and
sure,
it's
yeah.
okay. Yeah, I think we should keep moving. Yeah, decision tracking. Are you updating this IP?
Last week I wasn't able to update this because I had limited internet.
Uh
But this week
huh.
I'll check it. I think I checked it earlier last week or the week before that.
Okay.
But last, yeah.
Yeah, I think like since Rachel stopped dating it, probably like one or two decisions on gardens and then one on snapshot, but not much else. Yeah. Just wanted to check like on your radar. So when we came to
Yes.
the audit, it's we make
Mm-hmm.
it's everything's there.
Yep. Yeah. This on my. I think I have an. Do we have an open issue for this? But yeah, this is on my radar.
Is there a link for that document by any chance?
Oh yeah,
Or,
sure. Let me share it with you.
thank you.
I'll drop it on transparency
Perfect.
chat, or you prefer a DM?
No, in the chat would be great. Thanks.
Okay. Sorry for the background noise. Let me know. Okay. Yeah, the link is there.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, and the topics also over. Okay. Okay. You also guys were talking about Sampo and transparency. Uh, yeah, relations. I was actually talking with Gideon. I was telling him like I'll try to I'll try at least to be on the meetings and see how I can support. Because actually, like what Sampo is trying to accomplish, I think is exciting. Like getting revenue to the commons and make this thing last longer. I think it's very important and super cool. But other than that, like this little chat I had with Gideon, I have no idea what Sampo is actually doing right now.
So I think so. We've got Sampo divided into separate phases, but the initial phase is based on um, making an attempt to either reduce spending or account for the burn rate and decide whether it's ideal and just fine, or decide whether there's some overlap that we can ideally try to minimize in terms of duplicate spending. But it's feeling like what we're coming down to is almost like a full accounting. Not, I guess, not necessarily an audit since that's already being done here, but maybe just uh, creating a more, I guess, thorough mechanism for accounting with improved data structures, so that we can provide a much broader kind of conceptual view of where the spending is going, and try to at least create some further data fields to be able to report on it in a more I guess flexible way or diverse way.
Actually, the audit is tracking everything all of our expenses, and they are very detailed.
Okay, great.
Uh,
Yeah,
uh, and it's also related with this second topic. Like I was having a chat with Manu in the forums. Uh, yeah, like I feel like there is no so much transparent. Like, and maybe it's fine. Like, but when I was doing the audit, I was like, oh, this guy's making this out of the commons. This guy's, because when I was working with the data, it was so evident to me. But then we're not making those public. I mean, we are not making those public with the audit. But at some point, like I feel like that can also be interesting at some point, like to see like, okay, what's everyone making out of the commons, right?
sure. And yeah, that's another kind of topic that we were discussing initially, is maybe creating some sort of dashboard to make the audit or the accounting just more visible in a way that's easy for people to just jump in and take a look at directly. And Rex suggested that we take a look at Open Collective, and so I was browsing their website and their information this morning to see if we can't perhaps fork their dashboard and try to apply it to our data as well, or something along those lines, and see if we can't avoid duplication the same way. So that maybe we can reuse some open source software to to make that transparency fully visible publicly in terms of in a simple way. I mean, it's obviously transparent in the way it is now that people, if they really want to know, can seek that information out. But maybe we make it a little more easy to view and peruse if we use some sort of web-facing dashboard or something like that.
Yeah, I think that'd be super cool, and we could also have like a. I mean, I don't know if I am understanding it correctly, but if you have this platform, then the only thing you would need is like entry data people. You can either you get all the data that's around the commons, and then you gather all this data, and maybe you can even pay people to put this data in a form or in a platform, and then all the platform is organizing all the data, like all what we were doing manually on transparency. If that can be done by a program, that'd be huge, because I mean, I feel it's taking so much time, and it's even one of the topics also of the agenda, making the audit more simple, so we don't, I was feeling very exhausted when I was, the last week. It was like, all day looking numbers and doing things, like it was pretty stressful. So if we can have like a simpler way to gather all this information, I think that'd be awesome, and I'm so happy like you guys are working on that.
Yeah, maybe we provide some sort of accounting template that everybody needs to adhere to, and then we can draw that data directly into from the spreadsheets into the dashboard in a way that's convenient for everybody to view. And so yeah, if we make all the data fields uniform between all the working groups, then ideally we can reduce some of the manual effort that you all have been forced to provide. And obviously it's extremely useful that you've done it thus far, but yeah, if we can relieve that kind of pressure to do all that manual data cleaning and entry, then I think that would be pretty ideal. So
Yeah, definitely. What was the name of the platform again?
it's Open Collective was the one that Rex suggested, and it's kind of like a giveth in the way that it's a crowdfunding platform, but yeah, it's just they probably have a mechanism that we can fork to do some of this viewing.
Can you drop the link in the agenda, Jean, so we can also take a look?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and yeah, the next thing we also need to do is like, do you have that document for the proposals, Ivy? When people is asking money from the conviction voting template. I know you added it on the audit. Just
Yeah, let me find it.
and I think we could use this half an hour just to hack there. I mean, it's just a question, but check like yeah, because on a retrospective, like I was saying, like people like one of the hardest part when I was doing the audit is like people didn't had a question like milestones, like how are they going to there are some group like Gravity that has money for 6 months, but they are not even saying what's expected to get on the first month, second month, third month, whatever, or even every 2 months, whatever. But have some kind of milestones so we can track easily, especially when people ask for like the T Academy. They actually did it like the milestone, but not because we asked them, just because they feel the need. So yeah, I mean, I feel like this should be added on every time like someone is asking for funds.
I think this
Especially,
was discussed in the committee covenant because we're adding the accountability section in the
uh-huh.
covenant from the legal working group. So I think what was suggested in our last call, like I don't know if Livia, I haven't talked to Livia yet, but I think what we would like to suggest is if the the project that's requesting maybe we can include the roadmap section in this template.
Yeah, exactly, something like that.
So that's one thing that we will propose to softgov if if they will approve that, and then the
But
mutual
actually,
monitoring for the because what we're trying to promote in our community is mutual monitoring, right? So we have Zen Hub, we have the forum post. So maybe we can also encourage the project owners to provide updates in the forum, in the comments in the forum. Yeah, like should we
yeah,
maybe we can add it in the proposal that if uh, after they receive the fund, maybe we should encourage them to provide updates in the forum section aside from the roadmap. And then if they can provide the roadmap, the community can counter check the roadmap against the updates on the in the forum.
yeah, that'd be awesome. Uh, yeah, but the thing is, like, also I have an issue, like says change the template, and that was a topic we had on a retrospective, probably like the last, not the last one, but the other one. And yeah, I mean, Livy was there, and she told me like, yeah, maybe I could formulate that question since what I'm trying to get is information for the audit. So yeah, I mean, what I just hear from you from your legal call, I think that's awesome. But I think we can just push it. Why should we wait?
We're still trying to sort out some questions and some suggestions on the covenant. So Tex is on top of that. So he's still revising the covenant to reflect those suggestions on the accountability section. But yeah, I think we can already update the proposal. But I don't know if we should consult with SoftGov also, if we can include the roadmap section in the proposal template.
Yeah, I'll bring the topic tomorrow on Softcov and yeah, an updated template as convenient. Thank you, Ivy. The document is here. Yeah, I don't have any other topic to discuss. I don't know if anyone wants to bring something, or we could wrap up a half
Mhm.
hour earlier and use that
I,
time
th-
to do some work.
I think I want to ask about the feedback on the audit. Like we didn't finish. I don't know if we were able to discuss it last in our last call. Like how do we get feedback on the audit, or how have we distributed it the way we talked about? I know that we want to distribute it on through email, the forum post,
Yeah,
and the intake calls.
I put it on the Gitbook. I'll put it right now. Like I use this half an hour to make a front post for the audit and get feedback there. Would that work?
Yes. And what about the newsletter or the email? Maybe
Manu
in the
is
newsletter?
Yeah, I'll talk
yeah,
about that. No problem. It's a great idea.
yeah. I think Manu is also working on the newsletter. So yeah, I'll tell him like add a part like for feedback and that they should reach out to the transparency chat. And then we use the information from there. Would that work?
Yes. Thanks, Etsy.
Hi,
Yeah,
Brian.
yeah.
How are you?
I couldn't understand. What did you say, Chi?
I was just saying hello to Brian. Brian D.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Brian. Yeah, feel free to interrupt at any moment, but we also kind of wrapping this call. I don't know if
Could,
there's anything else to say.
could I just ask a quick question? It's
Yeah,
not
sure.
directly transparency, but about the attendees aspect in the meetings. I want to be able to advise everybody properly as to how to get praise or whether that's functionally duplicitous over the source credit aspect. So is SourceGrid accounting for meeting attendance, or is that note about saying something in the praise Telegram channel required for every meeting that's attended? So what would be the ideal mechanism? It says to say hi or post an emoji. So but I just haven't asked anybody about this at this point. Should somebody always say hi for every meeting or post an emoji for every meeting, or is this somehow being accounted for through SourceGrid and so it's not required in praise? Or
No, right now SourceCred is not counting the meetings. It's just praise, and that I also remember like we didn't praise transparency calls for a very long time. Maybe I should do that. Yeah, I when like right now like the way it's working is just praise, nothing else.
okay, but so is that ideal for us to tell somebody to post an emoji or say hi for every meeting that they attend, or is somebody that's running the meeting praising everybody that attends? Because I've seen some where like we praise people for attending the orientation call, so that they're not required to do that to go into the Telegram channel. But is that ideal for people that are just not in other calls?
I mean, the way praise work is like, anyone can do we have this transparency call right now, and I can do the praise, you can do the praise, anyone can do the praise. We could forget and no one praise, like that also happens sometimes.
Sure.
Or
And
or
we
we
don't
can
have,
also. I remember Zepti last year. I think we have encouraged every working group to have like assign someone to do the praise. So because usually the steward forgets it because we're running the meetings, but maybe if we can assign someone to do the praise after the call, maybe I don't know if you're still open to that idea. But I remember that's how we did that before. There's someone who's assigned to praise the attendees, so we don't in case the steward forgets.
um, either of us. Yeah, regarding the question, I feel like praise should be come from your heart, right? Like not like people just if you feel praising, you praise, and if you don't feel praising, you should not praise at all. And
I mean, for the attendance, because
yeah,
SourceGrid isn't accounting for that yet, and we want to, praise for people for attending the calls. I think that's what we were doing before.
yeah. I mean, no. Normally it was like just first one on doing it. Like okay, that's done. I don't feel we need to assign someone, but if you want to assign yourself or someone, that's cool.
Yeah, it would just be ideal to at least have some sort of uniform policy so that it's not over duplicated, but it's obviously accounted for. I mean, in some sense, it's not the praise term is kind of poor in that sense that it's not clear that it's a general accounting mechanism. So, but if we're intending to incentivize people to attend the meetings, and not just for showing up and not participating, I guess in some sense, but in another sense, yeah, for just showing up and not even really requiring participation. It's kind of ideal to at least.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, if we are rewarding people just for coming, like, as long as people start to know about us, there will be like 1,000 bots just farming praise. Yeah, and we should prevent that. I think it's not happening right now, but yeah, I mean, I feel like in order to get rewarded, you must do something. So
Yeah, I mean, even if it's just to say, I mean, so if we say that you just need to say hi or post an emoji, then that's something. I guess. I mean, that's some functional participation, even if it's the absolute bare minimum. We would ideally just account for presence and participation in some minimal aspect, even if it's accounted for, the very least aspect of the praise spectrum. At least it's there. I think it's what
yeah,
144. range.
I,
So
I can agree, but I also think like this is something like should be pushed by either advice process, like if you care about this topic, like you make a forum post and get advice from the community, and then
sure,
make a proposal, or if you don't, maybe like okay, you see there's something and you might, you don't want to push it yourself because you're busy or whatever. I think like the good place to share it, like you would like this change happen, it's the rewards because they are who are taking care of all these things.
sure.
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, that's my opinion, but
that's
yeah,
completely fair. Yeah, that's the idea. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll make a forum post, or I'll read and see if this has already been accounted for within the rewards discussion and whatnot. So thanks. Yeah, appreciate it.
yeah, you're welcome. Hey, Durgadas, we're wrapping up. I don't know if there's something you would like to share, any intentions of distraction for the transparency meeting.
You caught me when I was in the kitchen and I couldn't unmute easily. So, I yeah, I just like showing up at transparency. Sometimes, I thought we had an Omega meeting or something, like a psychology meeting, but maybe it's earlier.
I think it's at
Maybe
10:30 or 10:30 Pacific.
Oh, is it? Okay. So, yeah, it seems like everybody wants to always have those meetings at that key time. So, yeah, and then, failing that, I like to just show up in transparency sometimes and try to advocate for, more stuff like this. And I do wonder sometimes, are do we like try to recruit people into transparency at all? Like on Twitter, it feels like the unsung sort of unknown group, I do
I
wonder.
mean,
I do.
yeah, not really. I
It's like
mean,
where I
the
was like,
last,
"Yay, token engineers," and all this stuff. But it's like for a functioning community, I feel like we need to recruit, people
yeah,
to
I mean, the
be
last one
interested
I'm
in.
joining transparency group was Bear, but right now, like NT also is working.
Hmm.
I mean, also like the transparency budget is probably the lowest from all the working groups. I mean, it's because like we are so like a low amount of people, but
Yeah.
like the project itself, it's smaller than, I don't know. Like if we had more scope. Like there's one topic that I'm so excited about, and it's like this civil detection for people. Uh, you know,
Hmm.
and that's something like it could be fit perfectly on transparency, but I've not the capacity to run this project. So
Sure.
unless like someone came and have like a structure for it, and then we include it in the proposal, in the transparency proposal.
Well, and
Uh,
that's what I'm suggesting is that maybe if you guys were a little bit more uh, like talking up in, because like from my perspective, just my whole philosophical approach to everything that I hope you guys hear a lot is that the commons is everything. Do you know what I mean? So from my perspective, reality itself is a shared thing. We're all just one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively, right? So the commons is like the crucial part about that. Transparency is the ability for people to see into that process. And I think it's actually revealing of our psychological shadow that we don't actually prioritize transparency very much, even in its own working group. Do you know what I mean? So I'm literally advocating that you guys would push transparency as a crucial component of the commons that exists, right? So if we're going to talk about having a common stack, it seems to me that transparency is absolutely fundamental to that and shouldn't be like a passive kind of thing. It should be an active participant in the health of the community, So um, I just like to pop in and praise you guys and buck you up a little bit and try to be like, be more ambitious and stuff. So
Same.
yeah, I totally. Do you want to say something?
I was just saying, that's an excellent point. I mean, yeah, to at least recruit for people to come into transparency.
Yeah, I mean, don't you think there's some journalism majors that wish they had some way to get into Web3? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, transparency. What about, I mean, there's just an awful lot of data scientists who I've talked to YGG Anderson about, different ways to ping, the health of the community and all this stuff. Why is that not being run under transparency, right? So if we can gather all this data about participation of people and put technology and things in place, why wouldn't we do that under transparency? I'm just
I
just
mean,
saying.
yeah, this project is actually running through SoftGov, the health
Sure.
of the commons. I
Yeah.
mean, I think like as long as stuff gets done, it doesn't
Hmm.
matter where it comes from. I mean, that's my opinion, but you know,
Yeah, I have a very different idea about. See, the whole duocracy thing just ends up being that's the beginning of the technocracy. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying.
and the thing like for me is on transparency, where I mean, one of my important goals since the beginning was like transparency shouldn't be like you know like an entity that the eye of Mordor in the Lord of Rings. Like everyone trusts transparency, like because then transparency becomes a weak point where the transparency working group could intentionally or unintentionally do mistakes, and it would be worse for the whole commons. So like what the thing we are trying to push since the beginning is like mutual monitoring, and then the whole commons needs to take care of transparency. And the objective of the transparency working group is facilitating
Hmm.
the information so the people in the commons can actually monitor itself and take decisions.
Hmm.
And actually, one of the topics of today was like, should we monitor, how much money everyone is making, like how much money Septimus is making, Bear, Jean, Ivy, Durgadas from the commons, Brian.
Hmm.
It's a pretty sensitive topic, but
Yeah.
do
Well,
we
I mean,
want? Hmm.
yeah, I feel kind of sensitive about it because I mean, this is a little bit like talking about workplace pay, right? So on the if you go to the Reddit, the subreddit r anti-work, um, talking about workplace pay, they're really promoting talking about workplace pay, and I'll just give you one example. I happen to know a working group where I was fundamentally involved and, and working with the person, almost every minute for a year and a half, and they ended up with 4 times the number of tokens that I have. So it seems a little unfair to me. Do you know what I'm saying? So like that's the question, for me is how in the world did, yeah, okay, I get that you're a steward and I'm not, but come on, like you and I work together so
Actually,
close,
Durgadas, there's a thing. There's a thing here, and all the price Magedon thing. You had a lot of tokens before the price Magedon, but then with Prime Magedon, what they were doing is like just paying stewards. I don't know, and
That's yeah, that's
but
exactly my
but
point.
but but there's
That's
a
literally my point.
but there's a forum post of yourself saying like you were not contributing enough, and you were saying like why I'm getting a lot of tokens. I don't understand. And then the people from Price Macadam were using your forum post like you see people is saying the same, and we're like okay, GG.
Okay, but so that's that this is actually perfect for transparency. Look at this. Do you know what I'm saying? To actually say, what people's sentiment is in terms of that. Do you know what I'm saying? So if I have a sentiment about something and then my impression of that is just materially wrong. Do you see what I'm saying? So let's just say I'm used to, being put upon, and I've come from an exploitative, extractive economy where no one's cared about me at all. So I have maybe perhaps a lack of ambition or awareness about the practical ramifications of what's going on. So it's one thing to say, I feel like other people should be getting praise and maybe putting myself down a little bit. That's a completely different thing than um, then, and working so closely with the person foundationally, and then having them have 4 times the amount of tokens by the end of the hatch. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a very different. Those are two different things. So if I might think about myself in a certain kind of way, and there's such a vastly unequal, sort of playing field there. I think those are things that I would want to make transparent. You know, and I would want to, as a group, to sort of highlight within the community that this sort of thing is happening, and try to do things about it, right? Because I've had a bad feeling about it for like the whole time since the hatch. It's bugged me the whole time. I just have no idea where to go with that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a weird thing, but I do kind of feel like we should be looking at that. Right? Why is everything so weighted towards stewards? Uh,
Yeah, I think now it's at
does it?
least being analyzed. Like the reward system is doing. Like actually, it's me and Nagen and Chui are
Okay, so
like.
for transparency, there's some crucial people that I know that feel really excluded from the reward system group, myself included.
I mean, regarding rewards,
Being
like I feel like the best way.
really transparent.
Yeah, but the things move slowly. Like like what we are going to do right now. It's like there will be like a rewards distribution, and every distribution there will be an analysis, and it will be open in the forum, and anyone can say, "Oh, and actually like the, you can say like, oh, in this distribution, I felt I'm not
Yeah.
well rewarded or whatever, but since it's going to be every 2 weeks, I mean, of course, we cannot analyze what happened in the past and change the past because that's not good. We already saw what happened the last time we
Yeah.
did that.
Well, we should
But
learn from that.
exactly, yeah, and we learn. And the thing is,
Yeah.
like right now, we are going to make this analysis every 2 weeks
Mhm.
and make it public into the forum so anyone can say their opinion. Oh, I felt like this distribution I was doing more and I feel unrewarded, or I mean, I feel like people can also say, oh, I'm getting more rewarded than when I failed, and
Mhm.
probably like people feel it's I should be this rewarded, and that's cool, but I'm just praising that. And
I
Right.
mean,
but the thing, Mhm.
there is
Yeah.
a functional tool for this to where other people can kind of give their opinion as to the value that somebody else created. And I agree with Durgas that that's really important to have other people, because have other people gauge each other's contribution, because some people can value themselves exceptionally lowly, extremely
yeah, yeah,
undervalued.
and this is something that is happening right now. Like there is, like in these commons, like leaders are choosing their salary, and there are leaders with more salary than others, and just because like like I have no problem to pay myself like as I deserve, but some people struggle with that. Like they feel, oh, I
Yeah.
should, and like I feel like we should help these people because
Yeah.
it's hurting like the commons at the end of the day.
Yeah, so
I made a forum post actually like yesterday. It's there if you want to engage with that forum post, but
Can
just read
I
it.
can I sh- can I share something with you guys? Like some of you might have seen this. You know. So I feel like what I'm observing about this is that we kind of started with this step one thing, and then we're just like, yeah, we're just gonna skip over everything and go to step three, and there's no in between step, right? And the cool part about our the whole uh, cultural build in my mind was that we were going to do some things in step two, right? So you know, um, but what I think we just didn't do enough of was to do some of the other things, right? Like how is it that, because we're talking about this right now, this is the basic psychological difficulty that people are having. How do you actually function in a decentralized way? A lot of people just don't know. They're not used to it. They don't know how to feel their way through it. All their references point are all from abusive systems and unequal asymmetric systems. So if you're like, wow, I'm suddenly being rewarded in a way that I didn't anticipate because I just came from an abusive system, that's a very different thing than being actually rewarded according to this new thing that we're doing. Do you see what I mean? So 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 we have to do both things. We need to be able to give people this sort of, yeah, well, you're actually doing this other thing, but then what happens when like talking about, I was working very closely with a person since the beginning of this group, and and at the same time this other person's rewarded 4 times the tokens that I am at the hatch. And so so that just feels to me like I'm back at step one again, and I'm not over here in DAO land, and I'm not over here intentionally, decentralizing and re-educating. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is kind of the perspective that I'm trying to bring to this overall DAO, and reflect, the sort of shadow psychology that's existing. Unless we intentionally say we are specifically breaking up power, specifically trying to give people agency and autonomy. Because if you don't know what agency and autonomy is, you can't fight for it. You can't, you can't advocate for yourself. You can't, you know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. I just think, more than half of this work is probably this re-education, re-perspective, learning about all these sort of different psychology of approach of things, rather than just saying, hey, we created a praise system and pat ourselves on the back and act like all the things are solved. It's just not like that. So that's my new thing now, is I'm trying to
Honestly, I feel like the reward system is doing in my opinion, good work. Like they are, there was a mistake, things happened, but in the past, but we're learning from it, and we changing the whole praise system is being revamped, and there's like a lot of analysis in there. I mean, I don't know how it's going to turn in at the end. Like the last numbers I personally saw, for me it was like kind of the same. Stewards on the top of the ladder, and people, but the stewards are also working a lot. So but we have to we have to see those data and talk and in the forum, like if we have all this data in the forums and no one is saying anything, it's because people, is not in, not, if people is not involved enough. Like, I feel like check the
I don't
forums.
think so. That's what I'm specifically saying is, if you're used to an abusive extractive system, popping your head above any ground will get the tall poppy chopped. That's
Yeah,
the
that's
tall
fair.
poppy, and
That's
so
fair.
so
Yeah,
we have to teach people and encourage them to do the thing that we want. We have to reward and incentivize agency and autonomy in some sense, and that's why I'm saying I feel kind of excluded from the reward system, because
that's true.
I
That's
don't I
fair.
don't feel like we're emphasizing enough rewarding the commonality of things. You know what I'm saying? What we're doing is we're doing the same damn thing as before. So boss makes more than me, multiples of what I make. Do you know what I'm saying? And so here we are. So from my perspective, we talk about CEO pay, in what is it, Norway or Sweden, it was like 11 times the normal, amount. In America, it's 350 times the normal amount. But in this DAO, then it's 4 times. Do you know what I'm saying? So now if it's great. So why wouldn't I want to be a steward? I get all the tokens, right? So how is this not a technocracy? That's what I'm saying. It's like, even when I was asking about, how do we, navigate this new thing now that we have a token and everything, and Griff is like, hey, you know what? We actually built a system that works well for whales, and that's about it. I'm like, well, what the hell would we do that for? I thought we were trying to do something other than that. So, it's just a question. It's a real question, and I'm not, I'm just trying to reflect back that we can't make and the problem is that we make an assumption like, well, people just aren't engaged enough, and it's like, well, but why do you think that is? Do you think that's because our system isn't great and we're all just because we're all so nice here that everyone should just be engaged. That's just not true. You have to encourage people to have agency and autonomy. You have to teach them how to do it and reward their agency and autonomy, and to speak up when they're not used to it, or to be quiet when they're used to being loud, things like that. So that's my point.
Yeah, that's fair. And I actually agree with you. But we're also on the top of the hour. I think like we could, keep this. I think like this is a very exciting discussion, but I feel like
Sure.
the place is like the forums. But actually, because I don't feel like the rewards call, it's also like it's pretty dev focused. But as soon as we get those analysis running, like they should come like by this week actually, and start talking there. And
Yeah.
I honestly feel like the forums is like the best place to chat, because people
Mhm.
because right now you just say something and maybe I don't know how to answer, maybe I need to think, right? Like maybe, and I feel like the forum gives this
Mm.
yeah
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, it's funny that you said I wrote something on the forums, because I have no memory of ever writing anything on the forum, but I just
yeah,
never use it.
it is.
So
I can send it to you. I
that's
can send it to
hilarious.
you right now.
I just so
I'll DM you.
thank you.
Okay, guys. Okay, go.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
have to say I've been kind of pushing for that for
I
some
really
time.
need to jump off. I have another meeting. So thank you guys. See you in the next one.
Thank you.